The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Let's be real. You work. You worry. You wait. You wonder. These are the challenges of life on the farm. As a community bank, First Bank & Trust understands this rural reality. They're big enough to help ag producers grow for the future and small enough to get to know you right now. Our ag bankers have ag backgrounds, which means we'll help you work through the tough years and make the most of the great ones. First Bank & Trust. Real banking, real easy.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges.
Farmers know crop insurance is essential for managing risk. It's also valuable for maximizing revenue. The crop insurance officers at Farm Credit Services of America have proprietary tools and expertise to deliver the personalized crop and revenue protection you need for the peace of mind you want. Nobody delivers crop insurance like this. Discover the difference by calling 800-884-FARM. Agriculture works here.
Times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV. There's no better organization that gives back to the student athletes than the Booster Club. The Vermillion Booster Club is committed to helping all student athletes grow. Join the Tanager faithful today by becoming a member at GoTanagers.com. While you're there, check out Team Apparel for your favorite sports team. Like them on Facebook to stay up to date on all the latest information and sports games. Join the Vermillion Boosters today and go Tanagers!
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Hi, this is Kristen Cunningham with Chic Boutique by Kristen & Company in Centerville, South Dakota. We are an all-size inclusive boutique offering sizes small through 3X on many items, including denim jeans and jackets, shackets, pants, skirts, graphic tees and sweatshirts, joggers, school swag, hats and caps, many fashion accessories including purses and lots of jewelry. And we also offer gift items for birthdays and weddings. Get your shopping fix at 636 Broadway Street, Centerville, South Dakota, open Tuesday through Friday 10 to 7 and Saturday 10 to 4.
Let's be real. You work, you worry, you wait, you wonder. These are the challenges of life on the farm. As a community bank, First Bank & Trust understands this rural reality. We're big enough to help ag producers grow for the future and small enough to get to know you right now. Our ag bankers have ag backgrounds, which means we'll help you work through the tough years and make the most of the great ones. First Bank & Trust. Real banking, real easy. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Limestone canyons, flowing waterfalls, and pristine beauty make Spearfish a sanctuary for those seeking the ultimate escape. Outdoor enthusiasts will find top-notch sport climbing, mountain biking, and UTV OHV trails. Guests are steps away from peaceful hiking trails and tranquil streams. Relax and rehash your day's adventure at one of our award-winning local breweries. Finding rest is an important part of any adventure. Lodging in Spearfish comes with a variety of choices, from cabins, B&Bs, and campgrounds to the comforts of your popular brand-name hotels. To find your unique adventure in Spearfish, go to visitspearfish.com now.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities. This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Let's be real. You work, you worry, you wait, you wonder. These are the challenges of life on the farm. As a community bank, First Bank & Trust understands this rural reality. We're big enough to help ag producers grow for the future and small enough to get to know you right now. Our ag bankers have ag backgrounds, which means we'll help you work through the tough years and make the most of the great ones. First Bank & Trust. Real banking, real easy.
Farmers know crop insurance is essential for managing risk. It's also valuable for maximizing revenue. The crop insurance officers at Farm Credit Services of America have proprietary tools and expertise to deliver the personalized crop and revenue protection you need for the peace of mind you want. Nobody delivers crop insurance like this. Discover the difference by calling 800-884-FARM. Agriculture works here.
Good afternoon and welcome to Raleigh French Field on the campus of the Vermillion High School. We are getting you set and ready to go for high school soccer. It's the semifinals as the Vermillion Tanagers take on the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Great to have you along on this sunny Saturday afternoon. I'm Heath Nimke. It's going to be a great matchup, and coming up here in the pregame show in just a little bit, we're going to break down a little bit more of this matchup between the St. Thomas More Cavaliers and the Vermillion Tanagers. We'll break down the brackets so far as St. Thomas More, they played on Tuesday to get to this game here, whereas the Vermillion Tanagers had a first-round bye. So, in fact, in the playoffs, this will be their very first game. And it was a big win for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers, beating Freeman Academy as the number 3 seed. By the way, you're also tuning in for a little bit of girls soccer news. Last time checked and haven't had an update since halftime, but as of right now at half, it was 3-0. West Central was leading it over the Vermillion Tanagers. They are in those closing moments of that game. We'll get you more information on that game here in just a little bit. But as we mentioned, we have plenty coming up here in the pregame show. So before we get you that final update on the girls game, let's bring you down to how we got to this point and also see if we can't track down another score update here in the bracket. First off, we go back to this past Tuesday. On the boys' side, plenty of action going on as the number 4 seed, T-Area, took on it number 5 seed, James Valley Christian, and the T-Area Titans got the victory 2-0. And then as we saw, St. Thomas More dominated from the very get-go against Freeman Academy, never looked back in that game, winning 7-0 to advance on to Saturday's action. Now, I mentioned a score update as kicking off at 11 o'clock this morning up at Sioux Falls Christian High School, the Christian Chargers took on the T-Area Titans. That game is wrapping up. Of course, whoever wins that has their chance to play for a state title. Now, a lot would say would be on Sioux Falls Christian, but again, no official score update. We'll find that here for you in just a moment. And then there's this matchup here as well, Vermillion and St. Thomas More. Two teams that, well, haven't even seen each other yet this season. And when it comes to common opponents, there's not really a whole lot to even draw from. Of course, it's kind of the East versus West, if you will. Really only one common opponent so far this season, and that was the Sioux Falls Christian Chargers. And even then, you can't necessarily take a whole lot from that game because that was early on in the season. These two teams have certainly changed a lot, and it will be an interesting matchup as we get set for it here. Well, there's plenty to dive into talking about this game, and to give you a little bit more on where his squad is at after grabbing the 2 seed last week. In fact, in a 1-0 victory over the T-Area Titans, I was able to catch up with head coach Kurt Nelson of the Vermillion boys, where we talked more about where his squad was at and going into this game to try to chase down a championship. As we continue on here on the pregame show, let's bring him in. Here he is on our pregame show, our conversation with head coach Kurt Nelson of the Vermillion Tanagers. Well, Coach Nelson, as you get ready for the postseason, in fact, it's only one game for your chance to go play for a state title. But before we talk about this St. Thomas More team, and of course your team as well, let's go back to wrapping up the season because you did have that makeup game against T. It was kind of the ultimate decider on whether you would get the 2 seed or where you would fall at in the playoffs. How important was it going up against the T-Area Titans last weekend, trying to find that victory in a hostile environment and just try to play knowing what was going to happen in the playoffs?
It was big for us. I was telling some of our captains before the game, I said, hey, have you guys ever beat T? I said, no. I said, you ever beat St. Thomas More? I said, no. You ever beat Sioux Falls Christian? No. I said, all right, let's go, and we beat T. It was a really exciting game, and, it's just lining up for a really good opportunity for us to go into the playoffs here and, take care of some of these opponents that either we haven't seen or we haven't been able to beat in some of these high school players' careers.
Well, Coach, continuing off this, I know we've talked about this plenty before. When we look at the girls' side of things, it seems like there's a lot of seniors. It's been a great group of girls that have been together. And you and I have talked about this theme. There's only a few seniors a part of this squad. Things continue to build in the right direction going into postseason, though. How scary is that, knowing that there's not a lot of experience kind of in these type of big game situations?
Yeah, it is a little nerve-wracking. You know, we had a really good playoff game against Bellefouche last year that went into overtime and PKs, and we did well in the game, but PKs didn't go well for us, even though we practiced them and we knew our lineup and everything like that. So I think that was a key moment for us, and a key loss that everyone remembers. So going into this game against an opponent we haven't seen before, don't know what to expect, really keeping our composure and having that playoff mentality is going to be crucial.
Yeah, let's continue. We go right into my next theme, St. Thomas More. Yeah, they have to make the far trip, but also that being said, you just really haven't got your opportunity to see St. Thomas More yet this season. I mean, you could probably take a little bit of something off of Sioux Falls Christian, James Valley Christian, Freeman Academy, even in their last game. Otherwise, they just don't play opponents that you see. And no offense to St. Thomas More, there's always that famous saying, there's much different competition when it comes to the west side of the state than it comes to the east side of the state. So how do you scout for St. Thomas More? Do you go back to those games of common opponents, or do you just kind of say, you know what, we know to expect a great team, let's just go into it with that type of attitude?
Yeah, a little bit of both. We saw the Sioux Falls Christian score. That was early on in the season, and we know they're a dangerous team. They can get 5-0 real quickly on you against them. But we did watch the playoff game against Freeman, and we watched their last home game against Spearfish. So we were in the film room a little bit with the boys. They have kind of a tough camera angle there at the Black Hills Complex where their press box is, kind of behind the goal. But when they're attacking or defending on the side where the camera is, it's a pretty good shot. So we did a little bit of that, and then I think from the stat line, it really looks like it's going to be a story of great defense with Vermillion and a great offense with St. Thomas More. So they have their goal differential similar to ours. They score about as many goals as we do, but I probably give the edge to their offense. Just with some of the games where we went 10-0 on some teams. But then you look at our defense, 0.6 average goals against versus 1.7. Defense would have the edge there for us, I would say, especially with our senior leadership in the back. Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of the storyline for me. How does our defense stack up against their offense? And then what can our offense do against their defense?
Well, talking about your offense, this is going to be, of course, as we know, a Saturday game. And also St. Thomas More won the play at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's still a far trip out for them because they're not coming Friday, making a whole entire day in Vermillion, having this fun trip out there. It's going to be all within a day. So how important is it to get off to a quick start? Kind of an example of what we saw with the Vermillion girls when they played St. Thomas More on Tuesday. I mean, they were able to score within the very first 5 minutes of the game, kind of put it down the throats of St. Thomas More and put it away early. Is that kind of the same mentality that you want to go in taking on the Cavaliers in this game?
It's a tough one. We want to surprise them. We have some speed up top that I feel like we can do that potentially. But when you're relying on great defense too, the last thing you want to do is concede early. So we have changed up our formation a little bit. Kind of went back to a formation that we used early on in the season, and we'll try to break them down. I'm sure we will get some through balls going early to try and get a spark. We've been working on a lot of offense this week in practice, and I'm just really excited for the matchup and what it could mean. They do have a long bus ride. They probably also have the advantage though of the altitude coming down to Vermillion. So we'll see. It should be really exciting.
Coach, before I let you go, and I feel like you're in that kind of mindset right now, but what about the players? Does everyone kind of realize that you only have to play this one game, and if you can win, you're playing for a state title? Are the guys excited? What's kind of the atmosphere right now inside the locker room?
We're really excited. Yeah, to get that 2 seed and avoid, Christian is huge. We, you look at our track record over the last, 4 or 5 years with these juniors and seniors. We've, for the most part, been in the 4 spot and had to go up against some really tough T teams in semifinals and some really tough, Christian teams in semifinals. And it's always 3-2 one year, 2-0, 1-0, and we just come up short. So to get the 2 seed, St. Thomas More is going to be a really good challenge, no doubt. But knowing that that's right within our reach, and last time we saw Christian was 1-0. That's given us a lot of belief for sure, and we know this is a really good opportunity. So I think they're prepared and ready to seize the moment.
There he is. It's head coach Kurt Nelson here on the pregame show. And as we come back, both teams have taken the field. And that brings us all the way up to kickoff between the Vermillion Tanagers and the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Great to have you along here on this Saturday afternoon. Before we get this one officially kicked off, a quick update from Hartford, South Dakota. The Vermillion girls have fallen against the West Central Trojans. 4-0 is the final score there. So congratulations to the Vermillion girls on an amazing season, make it all the way to the semifinals, but fall 1 game short of playing for a state title. Again, losing 4-0 to the West Central Trojans. Have not seen a score update either on the Sioux Falls Christian T area boys game, as that also kicked off at 11 o'clock this afternoon. And one final update from Brookings, South Dakota. For just the second time in its history, the Dyke House has been sold out between USD and SDSU. That game kicking off at 2. The only other time that game has been sold out is when it was a few years ago with my tickets bought when it was college game day between SDSU and NDSU on a very brisk Saturday afternoon. Kind of brisk this morning. Things have certainly warmed up. Kickoff just past 12:55, not quite even 1 o'clock, sitting at a temperature of 61 degrees here in Vermillion. We'll talk about the weather here more in just a moment and also get into your starting lineups. Again, great to have you along on Live Ticket TV. Of course, the Vermillion Tanagers in their red uniforms, St. Thomas More Cavaliers in their white uniforms with numbers and letters that are in blue. Well, an early cross that comes in, going to be collected by the goalkeeper and quickly sent back the other way. Really to no one in particular, as the St. Thomas More Cavaliers try to find a little bit of space in through the middle. Cavaliers control it right now. Again, these two teams did not see each other during the regular season. There's really no even comparison to draw that you can make between St. Thomas More and Vermillion. And now an early chance, but an offsides is called as Ethan Blue got by the defender there, tripping over his own feet, in fact, was Ian. And Ethan left no doubt about it, putting it in the back of the net. But again, it was called offside, so it will be a free kick to the Vermillion Tanagers. And lucky for Vermillion, as they did not want to concede a goal within the first 90 seconds. Has been back and forth immediately here in this game. It is the same starting 11 that we've seen traditionally throughout this season. This ball comes flying into the stadium. I will say this much as well, Coach Zeller, you might have to be aware that door is going to probably fly. The way it's set up right now, fly open and close throughout. So you might get scared a little bit later on again with that coming close and shut. Sully is in as goalkeeper. The defenders include today for the Vermillion Tanagers Brady Signer along with Dominguez. Back there also in defense, Luke Knutson and James Nissen. At the midfield positions for the Vermillion Tanagers, you'll see Yoel Moose along with Henry Anderson, Varun, and also Taden Wells. And of course, attacking for the Vermillion Tanagers today, Michael Robe and also Ian up there in attack. Goalkeeper, of course, is Sully for the Vermillion Tanagers. Free kick upcoming for St. Thomas More. Out from 35 yards out. It is low. Takes a deflection through, and it will go out for what is going to be called a corner kick. So it took a deflection on its way through. Last touched by Vermillion. Out for a corner kick here on the near side. Back in defense today for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers, you'll see Trevor Erldson along with Aaron Lemon, Carter Stamper, and Aiden Mace. As the corner is cleared out, but not fully, Vermillion makes a quick kick over to the near side where it will be stopped there. In midfield today for the Cavaliers will be Will Green along with Jason Albertson, Ethan Ballou along with Henry Snyder and Tom Solono. And then in for attackers today, we will see Garrett Kirschenbosch along with the goalkeeper Winston Prill for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. So there's a look at your starting 11 as trying to cross it over. Nice job by Aaron Lemon trying to get to that far side where the Cavaliers want to work it along the far sideline, but knocking it out of bounds there is Tom Solono, and will go out of bounds for a throw-in for the Vermillion Tanagers. Again, Sioux Falls Christian, the T area Titans were playing at 11 o'clock today. Have not seen an update from Sioux Falls Christian. I know as that one got over. Varun takes the quick free kick as they get it quickly up to Ian. He has his space cut off, and back once again to Henry Anderson. Play it to the middle with Varun having it. Now the through ball coming out late, missing the ball, and falling back on top of it is Winston Prill. You got to come in strong there as the goalkeeper and use your hands there. He went for a slide tackle, which can be extremely dangerous. Not only did he miss the ball, but again, he clips a player. That can be an automatic red card and out for the game. And now a collision. Ball is going to be played back, and an offsides is called. Now, a little bit of an interesting one there because Ian never actually touched the ball, so it shouldn't even be considered offsides. It was collected by St. Thomas More, and they played it back. Ultimately, just play advantage there. Ball gets kicked deep. Sully comes out to collect just outside the 6-yard box. So back and forth, but a lot of action towards our north side for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. They've had a little bit more time in possession as well. They try to open up Vermillion along the far side. A pass up will go out of bounds. Vermillion looking a little bit more for that quick strike counterattack. As the St. Thomas More Cavaliers have shown in the first 5 minutes, they want to make something happen through the middle, and that's exactly where they come again. And nice job by Sully coming out with both hands, going down to a knee to collect. And it's going to take the simple rollover to Michael Robe. Robe back, and now going to be played up. It takes a high fly by Luke Knutson. Of course, Luke on the football field last night, kicking duties, playing a little bit of wide receiver, a little bit of cornerback when the Vermillion Tanagers fell to the Canton Seahawks, 32-13. Varun had it for a moment, takes a heavy touch as he tried to get around the defender. Now down on the far side, here come the St. Thomas More Cavaliers on the corner, knocked out. They do say it will be out for a goal kick. Again, this is Vermillion's first game here in the playoffs, already in the semifinals. Counting down on the clock. to quadruple zeros as you see it. Still scoreless between the St. Thomas More Cavaliers and the Vermillion Tanagers. As mentioned, semifinals, winners go play for a state title. That comes up next Saturday in T. Of course, a beautiful facility up there in T. A turf field as well. It's always been a talking point. When you play in Class A, you're going to see a mixture of some places having that natural grass, which, I'm going to be honest with you, Raleigh French Field, I don't know if they've been having the sprinklers on lately. Certainly the grass has died more and more. Now trying to get it up to Ian over his head and out once again. A couple weeks ago, this was beautiful, fresh green grass. Of course, helping out with the JV football. That's where they play their home games at here is right on Raleigh French Field, but after JV games were canceled this year due to too many injuries, there was, again, just kind of that stop and get rid of the mixture of white lines that get confusing when playing soccer. Have given way to the red lines ever since, but also a lot of dead grass in patches of the field. And now a collision right about halfway. As advantage is played on, it's Faroon who has it, trying to get the through ball to Ian. Ian inside the 18-yard box is going to take it with his wrong-footed there. Doesn't get the full power on it. Puts it right into the hands of Winston, the goalkeeper for St. Thomas More. Can attest to that as well, soccer player myself. If it didn't come to my right foot, I could try to make something happen with the left foot, but it certainly wasn't going to come off pretty. If you were going to score with that, it was going to be something that looked really, really awkward. But every once in a while, you would get lucky with it. Again, scoreless. So we're into the 10th minute here between the Vermillion Tanagers and the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. 40-minute halves. If we're still tied, we will play overtime. 2 10-minute halves. And if we're still tied at that point, we will go to penalty kicks. By the way, there is no such thing as a golden goal when it comes to overtime rules. We will play that extra 20 minutes no matter what. Again, earlier today, the Vermillion girls were down in, or I should say up in Hartford, South Dakota, taking on number 1 West Central. The girls with the 4 seed, they fell 4-0. This time, Ian is onside, takes a heavy touch, getting shoved from behind, but easily puts it into the back of the net. He was straight on. He could go left, he could go right. He left no doubt about it, putting it into the left side of the net. And Vermillion leads it early 1-0 over St. Thomas More. Ian found some space just past the halfway line. It was played into him and able to get a big score. 30:04 is what they want you to put on the clock, Coach Zeller. As again, Vermillion able to score, leading it 1-0. In the 11th minute, by an Ian Job, great take. It's kind of nervous for him as that first touch was a little heavy, but Winston Prill didn't come all the way out. Kind of just sat in there as the goalkeeper. And with Ian, he left no doubt sliding it in to the left side of the net. Vermillion leading 1-0 over St. Thomas More. And now a far shot will go through the uprights here at Raleigh French Field. One to nothing is your score. St. Thomas More trying to again find some space. They've had a couple different opportunities through the middle. And now trying to get a little bit of space just inside the 18-yard box. Knocked around and finally poked out of bounds. Throw in for the Cavaliers. Now the question is, what is the pregame ritual on a Saturday for either St. Thomas More or for the Vermillion Tanagers? Of course, for St. Thomas More, we're having to make that far trip all the way here to Vermillion. But for the Vermillion Tanagers, what was the pregame ritual today to get ready for a soccer game at 1 o'clock in the afternoon? I can remember back in my days, it was very, very simple. Lived on a huge acreage back home. So he warmed up with my brother, who was also the assistant coach throughout his years. Helped me get warmed up, then eat some Pop-Tarts, and eventually go play some soccer, all hyped up on a bunch of sugar. Ian was through for a moment, lays it off to Anderson. He's tripped up as it goes out of bounds. It will be a goal kick. Of course, Anderson as well, cross-country kid. Vermillion on the boys' side placed second in the DAC 12 on Thursday. Have regions coming up. Coming up next week, and then state the following week as we're getting closer to the end of season for actually a lot of fall sports. Of course, the boys golf team just won themselves a state title this past Tuesday. The girls tennis team finished in 6th. So impressive of what they were able to do. 1-0, the Vermillion Tanagers lead over the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Controlled right now with Vermillion. St. Thomas More able to get back in possession. Bounced around a couple times. Will Green not able to hold on to it. Played up to Ian once again. And this time he is offsides. So he found himself right in the space that he did last time. Able to score. And we'll now see a substitution as coming in will be Weston Edwards. Well, again, they signaled for the exchange, but didn't let it happen. So next dead ball, we'll see this substitution. Be the first substitution for either teams. Ball played up and calling a foul here against Joel Dahlhoff against the Tanagers. No, that one will be just a plain foul. They're saying he threw his arm in there. It's a, as we would call in soccer, a cheeky foul there, because the ball was going to be played out no matter what. And a ball over the top once again. St. Thomas More has looked for that a few different times, but ultimately have not been able to take advantage of it. Cavaliers have also had a few corners here in this game. Again, but trailing 1-0 over the Vermillion Tanagers. Again, winner punches their way into the state tournament to take on what a lot of people are going to be guessing, these Sioux Falls Christian Chargers. Again, have not seen a score update. Those two, Sioux Falls Christian and T area, played at 11 o'clock this morning, so that game should be wrapped up by now. Bring you score updates as well on USD, SDSU a little bit later on, as that one's set to kick off at 2 o'clock. Again, if you missed out on it for just the second time in its history, Dana J. Dykehouse Stadium has been sold out. Again, what has turned out to be just a beautiful afternoon. Great crowd here at the Veterans Sports Complex as well. Corner kick as Varun puts this one to the back post, but it's going to be knocked over. Vermillion Tanagers do make contact with it, but not able to redirect it back towards net there. It was Luke Knutson. He was a part of it. Luke Knutson, one of the taller players, come in and support at the defensive position. Finally see that sub come in. As coming out will be Carter Stamper, the defender, freshman defender for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. 1-0, approaching the halfway mark of this first half. An Ian Job goal in the 11th minute has been the separation. Luke Knutson through the middle. Sully comes out. Contact is made. St. Thomas More Cavaliers don't like the call. And it will be a clearance by Sully, as he was the goalkeeper that came out and picked it up. One through again. Sully plenty out there, close to the top of the 18-yard box. Of course, here at Veteran Sports Complex as well, the grandstands are not separated, so St. Thomas More and Vermillion sit intermingled together. So plenty of jawing will go back and forth throughout the game. We will see another substitution for the Vermillion Tanagers, as Tatum Wells will come back into the game and Henry Anderson, the junior midfielder, will come off. First break for Henry. Throw in on the near side. Dominguez trying to use the near sideline. Back to Dominguez. Trying to find that space in the middle. Ball's going to be stolen away by the Cavaliers as they're trying to come on the fast break. Contact. One falls to the ground. Ball popped up in the air. Still in the middle. St. Thomas More tries to find something through once again. This time, nothing doing. Picked up once again by Sully, who has been active so far in this first half, but not necessarily with making saves, but coming out and making collections for the Vermillion Tanagers. Dominguez tries to clear, and the Cavaliers will let it roll out for the throw-in. Trying to use the near sideline. Instead of coming down in possession, Michael Robe just let that bounce off of his thigh and go out once again. Coach Kurt Nelson in the cool outfit today. Have just the red long sleeve shirt. A little bit of joggers, it looks like, out there. Cap on backwards. Sunglasses as well. You might confuse him for just an assistant coach out there. You might have been watching a little bit of soccer this morning as well. A lot of games in the English Premier League kicked off at 9 o'clock. Of course, his favorite team doesn't play until tomorrow. A through ball, and getting some space this time is Joel Dolhoff. And the space cut off and knocked out of bounds. He'll be in for a corner kick. Nice job there by Garrett Kirschenbusch, who's able to get back in time and knock it off the feet of Dolhoff and out for a corner. But Vermillion, another opportunity here in this first half as we approach the halfway mark. Vermillion leading it 1-0. Varun puts his hand up in the air. Swings it in, and this one, great job. Collection there by Winston Prill to leave no doubt about it. This one, a deep kick. It's going to go from box to box. A little bit of free space at the top now. Shot comes in, saved by Sully, but the ball is loose once again. Ping-ponged around and out for a corner kick. Sully was never able to get the gloves on the shot from Trevor Erlinson. It came free as Vermillion tried to clear, took a deflection off the back of one and out for a corner. So, St. Thomas More now at the near corner. As the guys come running in, shot goes, I should say, the cross goes over everyone's head and out for a throw-in. It's important when you get those type of opportunities, those type of corner kicks, that you take some type of advantage of them, rather than be short than long and go in for that simple throw-in. But not using the sidelines properly, Vermillion, and it will be a throw-in back to St. Thomas More. Or are they going to say some type of foul against the Cavaliers? I'm not quite for sure what the foul was on. So as I maybe understand it, the ball never went out of bounds? No, okay, the ball did go out of bounds, maybe. Or it didn't go out of bounds, and someone grabbed it with their hands before it did. I believe that is what the foul is going to be. So a hands ball, the ball didn't actually go out of bounds. just assumed that it was, but the near official who had the best look at says it never did. Luke Knutson has the high cross come in and heads it away as the Cavaliers get back on top of it once again. Varun pops it high up in the air. A little bit of bouncy ball. Dominguez clears it across the halfway line, takes a bad deflection off of one, and Winston will just have to clear it out for the Cavaliers. It will be a throw-in along the far boundary for the Vermillion Tanagers. Again, the score 1-0. Past the halfway mark of this first half. Heath Nimke, usually the producer Cole Larsch with me, but Cole decided to take the afternoon off. He's part of the sold-out crowd up in Brookings, South Dakota. Can't complain. We make him work sometimes. Of course, with us last night for the football game. Not going to lie either, my ticket has also been purchased for that game. It was also given away. I did have plans to go a few weeks ago, and then, of course, the boys made it to this. We're hoping to do both girls and boys, but tough to cover the girls. In Hartford, South Dakota, again, we talk about Class 11A, just at certain spots, kind of undeveloped territory. West Central doesn't have the best facility for soccer yet. They do not play on the football field. Dahlhoff was clearly offsides. Good call there by the official. As I mentioned, not a quite finished facility in West Central, so not able to do soccer up there. Otherwise, we would have done the girls' game and let the Vermillion fans watch it here. And again, a good crowd for both St. Thomas More and Vermillion, as they are intermixed here at Veteran Sports Complex. Sully comes out, ball pushed through underneath him and goes out for a goal kick. And it will be a goal kick. I think St. Thomas More thought maybe it should have been a corner, as Ethan was over there. It looked like it last came off his foot. He was indicating that it came off of Sully last. But again, goal kick for the Vermillion Tanagers. 1-0 here in the first half. By an Ian Job goal in the 11th minute. Ball that comes through just takes the deflection in the air by Brady Signer there. Throw in, trying to use the boundary. Played back to the top of the 18-yard box. But again, bouncing around and finally cleared out by Vermillion. Vermillion starting to play a little bit more defensively here in this first half, as they have right now 10 guys back. Should say 9. Don't necessarily always count the goalkeeper when you talk about formations. Of course, because he has to stay where he can only go 18 yards in his box, basically. Another free kick upcoming for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers, as this one is high in the air. Sully comes out, and a nice job. Again, goalkeepers will always have command of their box. And now a little bit of collision, and there is a foul going to be called. Henry Anderson was ready to take it quickly there. They didn't allow advantage to play on to make sure it was sorted out correctly, and now the free kick taken. Trying to play it across the field, goes out for a throw in for St. Thomas More. 1-0. Vermillion leading. Of course, St. Thomas More has made this trip now in less than a week. The girls made the trip here on Tuesday, with the Vermillion girls getting the win over St. Thomas More to advance that semifinal going on today. Dahlhoff has it, plays it to the center. Nobody there, but coming up quickly, trying to get some space, steals it away, takes the shot, off balanced for Tayden Wells, and goes out. Well, Tayden plays it just a little bit like hockey. Stay in front of goal, wait for some garbage to come, and see if you can't take advantage of it. Just not able to redirect it back on net. And now the through ball works nicely as breaking free is Tom Solano there and easily slots it in the back of the net. Vermillion falls asleep defensively. Tom Solano, the senior midfielder, found easy space with the through ball and is able to punch it into the back of the net. Confirmation from the head official to the far official to make sure no offsides. Goal stands, and it is now 1-1 here in the first half. As that goal comes in the 28th minute of action. Vermillion will try to regroup. Again, they just kind of fell asleep defensively. Found its space kind of in between Luke Knutson back there and Brady Seiner. St. Thomas More trying to find some momentum. So working it down the far sideline. Space cut off. Ball pings pong back to the Cavaliers. St. Thomas More looking for the cross. Space cut off. Another opportunity incoming. And this one, another shot. And it goes across the face of goal and all the way through and out of bounds. It will be a throw-in for the Vermillion Tanagers. Again, 1-1. St. Thomas More in Vermillion. And now ball kicked up high in the air. This one will go out of bounds. Throw in for St. Thomas More, again, who have really dominated possession here in this first half. Vermillion has found their luck through balls. More quick counterattacks, just like this here, as Job was up there once again. Ball bouncing around. Varun tries to come up and play it. And finally the Cavaliers get it back, and using the near sideline is breaking free is Ethan. Ethan then has his space cut off by Luke Knutson and out of bounds. Throw in for St. Thomas More. Throw in. Enters inside the 18-yard box. No one there for St. Thomas More. Cleared out. Pulled down by Joel Dahlhoff for a moment. But never able to get it completely in possession. Anderson, the throw-in along the near sideline. Still Anderson. To Dominguez. Anderson slips for a moment. Played up, and it's going to be an offsides. And a free kick upcoming for the Cavaliers. The third offsides called on the Vermillion Tanagers so far today. We enter close to the final few minutes of this first half. Tied at 1-1 apiece. Winner will take on Sioux Falls Christian for a state title. So we do get a score update there. The Sioux Falls Christian Chargers today beat the T-Area Titans 1-0. So a lot of people thought it would be Sioux Falls Christian to play for a state title. They have confirmed that. It will be next Saturday at 5 o'clock at T-Area High School, right there on the football field. Of course, if Vermillion can win this, we will not have coverage of that game. All coverage of state tournaments is provided by South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Good relationship between South Dakota Public Broadcasting and Live Ticket TV, so we'll not be able to call that game. However, if Vermillion makes it to that championship game, certainly will be making my trip up to T-Area. Not too far of a trip for me. Would certainly be different for me, though, to be sitting watching a game, usually a part of some type of broadcast. So the ball is up the near sideline, ushered out of bounds. In fact, already have gotten extra duties for playoff football. So we get ready for that just a few weeks away. Vermillion Tanagers football team 2-5 after losing to the Canton Seahawks last night. Have a game coming up on Friday against Madison, then wrap up their season the following Thursday in Belle Fourche, South Dakota. Throw in for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. I think we probably might do a podcast, might do a trip on the road with my producer Cole Larsch, as Cole has never been to Mount Rushmore. Found that out during a soccer game. I've never been to Spearfish, so okay, I have an excuse. I have an excuse of why I've never been to Spearfish. I've been to Spearfish. I've never actually seen the scenic part of Spearfish. I've only been there for sports. Now, also, Coach Zeller, you can't forget, I'm not from South Dakota. I've only lived here 8 years of my life. Now, Cole Larsch has lived here for 18 years of his life, has never seen Mount Rushmore. So that's a little bit more different. So our Belle Fourche trip is going to be out there, see the sights on Thursday, call the game, stay overnight, then we have to get back because, of course, that Saturday is Dakota Days. Yes. So Thursday, football out in Belle Fourche before I have to be back for Dakota Days for USD. Shot taken. Good opportunity there for St. Thomas More. A good look as well for Tom Solano, who already has a goal for the Cavaliers, but puts it right into the hands of Sully. 1-1 here between the Cavaliers and the Vermillion Tanagers. A semifinals match. Again, winner will play Sioux Falls Christian next Saturday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon at T Area High School. Of course, St. Thomas More, that'll be kind of a weekend trip if they're able to punch their ticket. Having to make that trip across the state of South Dakota. Their team playing for a championship will be West Central Trojans, as West Central girls beat Vermillion earlier this morning and into the afternoon, 4-0. In fact, West Central jumped out early, 3-0, added a goal in that second half to punch their ticket into a championship game, a team that has not lost yet this season. Was 6:58. We can allow substitutions to come on or not. The near official does not have the correct information, so unlike what we see at the regular season level, I should say, you don't always see those substitutions made quickly. We're also going to be having a yellow card that is given to Trevor Erlandson. And of course, with that yellow card in high school level, you do have to come out of the game. So we'll see the quick substitution instead for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers, as Carter Stamper will come in. And now we're going to allow the two substitutions for the Vermillion Tanagers. So ultimately, the yellow card is given on the heavy contact against Brady Siner. It was a delayed yellow card there, but again given to Trevor Erlandson. 3 different substitutions are made, and we're ready to go once again, as coming out of the game for the Vermillion Tanagers was Hayden Wells, along with Brody Askew. 1-1, closing minutes here of this first half of this semifinal match between the Vermillion Tanagers and the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Comes semifinal soccer. Other one coming up here at 2 o'clock on the girls' side. The T-Area Titans and Sioux Falls Christian actually meet again. But this time it'll be in T-Area. But of course, that makes it super convenient as well for fans of both to go watch one game up at Sioux Falls and then go watch the other one in T. Which, again, if you ask certain people, you would just say it's all Sioux Falls. Throw in for the Cavaliers. 6 minutes remaining, first half. On the girls' side of things, the 3-seed Sioux Falls Christian beat Dakota Valley 2-0. As we mentioned, it was 5-1. Vermillion girls beat St. Thomas More on Tuesday, courtesy of Megan Brady's 4 goals in that game. In fact, before today, she was on 7 goals in 2 games. And now Varun, good foul call, a little bit of pushing and shoving. This one has been chippy here so far in the first half. Again, a yellow card already been showing. And now the 4th foul against the Vermillion Tanagers here in this game. Counting out the 10 yards. St. Thomas More will have a free kick from about 33 yards out. High in the air, going to the back post, and a great attempt as it came down to the foot of Ethan for the Cavaliers, but Sully able to cover at the near post and get another save for the Vermillion Tanagers. Again, St. Thomas More certainly has had better opportunities than Vermillion. Vermillion has really had that only goal against the run of play. Now Luke Knutson loses possession, and this one tough to let get away for the man already on a yellow card. Trevor Earldson pushed Luke Knutson from behind, but Luke Knutson had already lost possession of the ball. But again, the hands came flying up. And Trevor eventually just got himself in trouble in the end. If he would have just left his hands down, he would have gotten the ball inside the 18-yard box. And a good opportunity, a good look at goal. But instead, free kick was cleared out. But here come the Cavaliers once again. Back and forth, Trevor and Luke compete on the near side. Knocked out, 3:39 and rolling remaining in this first half. 1-1. Pass into the box, and this one is going to be a free kick. They say that is against the Cavaliers and Tom Solano. And now, frustration for St. Thomas More. Luke Knutson will have the free kick to clear. And are we going to get a stoppage of play? Looks like we will. And now we're going to stop the clock as well. I believe we're going to be seeing maybe a yellow card here against St. Thomas More, as there is a discussion here on the near sideline. As St. Thomas More, in frustration, coming out of his box there, head coach for the St. Thomas Cavaliers was Nate Sales. And he was in complete frustration with the call. He came up charging near the 4th official. He gets his explanation. He's good to go. But that was the stoppage of play, the explanation that he gets. He gives the thumbs up to the head official, but you know he's not happy about the call. Ultimately, the free kick ensues. Vermillion, after being cleared out, will have it throw in on the near side. Under 3 minutes remaining in this first half. It is tied 1-1. As we mentioned, it has gotten chippy here in the latter portion of this game. Ian Job tries to catch up to it through the through ball, not able to do so. This one is going to be popped up in the air. Advantage played on is what they call. Dominguez loses possession. Once again, here comes the St. Thomas More Cavaliers with Will Green. Now over to Ethan Billow, who has it knocked away from him by Yoel Moose. Throw in for the Cavaliers. The press continues as St. Thomas More try to take the lead before half. Inside the 18-yard box, played into the middle, nobody there. Cavaliers trying to pull it down. A lot of contact made. Several different flags go up in the air. And it will be a foul called against the Cavaliers, or eventually it looks like an offsides. What it will be against St. Thomas More? No. Well, let's figure it out here. Yes. The offsides against the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Now under 90 seconds remaining in this first half. Going to make Luke back it up a little bit further to the proper spot. So, Luke will clear it out. So he gets it up, but give it right back to the Cavaliers. Here they come once again. The through ball, a shot on goal, and Ethan Billow puts it into the back of that. St. Thomas More, with the late pressure here in this first half, is able to score, and St. Thomas More leads it now 2-1 with 57 seconds remaining here in this first half. Chippiness back and forth between two teams. And now we're going to see another yellow card handed out to Henry Snyder as he picks up a yellow card. So now two different yellow cards, as this one came after the goal. Coach Sales is in discussion with his team right now. Things cleared up. We're ready to go. Once again, Vermillion now trailing 2-1 here in this first half. Ball played up. Vermillion has it along the far side. Being tripped up. Dolhoff fall down. Princeton comes out once again. And Winston clipped. This time, it looked like Ian Job, in a free kick upcoming. The clock continues to roll here. They're going to allow the free kick to happen. As now they're going to stop the clock to give Vermillion an opportunity here to play this one out. Of course, you'd see just in professional soccer, just add on stoppage time. But in high school, we do play till we hit zeros, and then that will end the first half. So they stop the clock. They indicate to roll once again. Varun, the free kick into the back post. It's open in the middle, and it's tucked away. Vermillion answers back 46 seconds later, and we're tied once again, 2-2. So Vermillion has gotten both of their goals against the run of play and now lead it 2-2. It was Varun on the free kick, crossed it over to Luke Knutson, who redirected it back into the middle. Not quite for sure who got the final touch of it. It was Ian, who gets his second goal in the 11th and 40th minute, and at halftime, we are tied between the Vermillion Tanagers and the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Well, in a semifinal match, it has certainly been chippy. It's been back and forth, mainly the possession belonging to the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. But in the final closing seconds of this first half, Vermillion is able to tie it up, and they now make it 2-2 as we enter halftime. We're going to step aside. Halftime coming up here in just a moment on Live Ticket TV.
Times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV. There's no better organization that gives back to the student athletes than the Booster Club. The Vermillion Booster Club is committed to helping all student athletes grow. Join the Tanager faithful today by becoming a member at GoTanagers.com. While you're there, check out team apparel for your favorite sports team. Like them on Facebook to stay up to date on all the latest information and sports games. Join the Vermillion Boosters today and go Tanagers!
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
As we're back here from halftime, it is 2-2. The St. Thomas More Cavaliers and the Vermillion Tanagers in semifinal action are squared up right now. And again, quick correction here, as she was mentioning to me coming into halftime. There's a quick correction. In the 40th minute, it was Joel Dahlhoff there in the final 5 seconds that was the one who put it into the back of the net. So it's Ian Job and Joel Dahlhoff that have both scored for the Vermillion Tanagers. And well, while we're talking about it, let's break this one all down in the first half. If you're just tuning in, great to have you a part of Live Ticket TV. It's been an entertaining first half that's mainly belonged to the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Opening few minutes, it was back and forth. Both teams had some early attempts as Vermillion was looking for the through ball. And they were able to find it in the 11th minute as Ian Job found some space just across the halfway line, was able to outrun his defender of Aaron Lemon, and not coming all the way out. Doubting himself was the goalkeeper, Winston Prill, and Ian easily slided it in to the left side of the net, making it 1-0. But just past the halfway mark of this first half, Tom Solano, after the defense fell asleep for the Vermillion Tanagers, found himself open on the through ball and easily left no doubt about it for his opportunity and tied it up at 1-1 apiece. Then back and forth in the final 10 minutes as St. Thomas More was coming with a lot of heavy presence, fouls on both teams, a couple yellow cards in there as well, one against Trevor Erlandson, the junior defender, and also a yellow card to Henry Snyder in the final closing seconds after it was Ethan Billow who they thought maybe a foul should have been called, got himself free and was able to slot it in the back of the net for that goal in the 40th minute, making it 2-1. But opposite way, Vermillion came quickly using that far sideline, and getting free was Ian Joe before a foul was committed and a stoppage on the clock to give Vermillion an opportunity with just 15 seconds remaining. Varun put it into the far post, on the near post. Luke Knutson headed it back towards the middle, and with 5 seconds remaining in this first half, it was Joel Dahlhoff, the junior defender, who put it into the back of the net, and that's how we find ourselves tied, just as we did in the opening moments of this game here at Veterans Sports Complex on Raleigh French Field. It's 2-2 for Vermillion and St. Thomas More. Well, it's been an entertaining first half. Again, if you're just tuning in, you did not hear the update earlier. The Vermillion girls in semifinal action fell to West Central 4-0. Congratulations to the Vermillion girls on a very successful season that they had, just not able to finish off against a very, very talented West Central team. We're going to step aside, and when we come back, we have more, including the second half. That's moments away here on Live Ticket TV.
Hi, this is Kristen Cunningham with Chic Boutique by Kristen & Company in Centerville, South Dakota. We're an all-size inclusive boutique offering sizes small through 3X on many items, including denim jeans and jackets, shackets, pants, skirts, graphic tees and sweatshirts, joggers, school swag, hats and caps, many fashion accessories including purses and lots of jewelry. And we also offer gift items for birthdays and weddings. Get your shopping fix at 636 Broadway Street, Centerville, South Dakota. Open Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 7, and Saturday, 10 to 4.
Let's be real. You work, you worry, you wait, you wonder. These are the challenges of life on the farm. As a community bank, First Bank & Trust understands this rural reality. We're big enough to help ag producers grow for the future and small enough to get to know you right now. Our ag bankers have ag backgrounds, which means we'll help you work through the tough years and make the most of the great ones. First Bank & Trust. Real banking, real easy. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Limestone canyons, flowing waterfalls, and pristine beauty make Spearfish a sanctuary for those seeking the ultimate escape. Outdoor enthusiasts will find top-notch sport climbing, mountain biking, and UTV OHV trails. Guests are steps away from peaceful hiking trails and tranquil streams. Relax and rehash your day's adventure at one of our award-winning local breweries. Finding rest is an important part of any adventure. Lodging in Spearfish comes with a variety of choices, from cabins, B&Bs, and campgrounds to the comforts of your popular brand-name hotels.
Back here at Veterans Sports Complex as we are set and ready to go for the second half on Raleigh French Field. I'm Heath Nimke. Always give a shout out to our producer, Cole Larsch, who is not with us on this Saturday afternoon. Cole is finding himself right now in a seat at Dana J. Dykehouse Stadium as that big rivalry matchup coming up here. Kickoff at 2 o'clock between USD and SDSU. Again, heard about an hour or so ago that it is sold out for that game. Just the second time that the Dyke House has been sold out in its history. The only other time coming up a couple of years ago when it was college game day for college football between SDSU and NDSU. Had my ticket for that game. Never, of course, made it inside the stadium. And we're just going to leave it at that. 2-2 as we're set and ready to go for the second half. Vermillion Tanagers will come back out in their red uniforms. Numbers and letters that are in white. St. Thomas More Cavaliers in their just white uniforms. They have numbers and letters that are in blue, but they are extremely small at times where we find ourselves up here in the broadcast booth. They look pretty itty-bitty to me, especially on the back. Like, I can understand the small numbers in the front, but on the back of those jerseys, they are extremely small, sometimes make it a little bit hard to read on that far side. Again, winner will play Sioux Falls Christian for a state title coming up next Saturday. 40 minutes that separates ourselves from that state title game. Or if we are tied, we will have extra time coming up. 2 10-minute halves. And if we're still tied at the end of that 20 minutes, we will go to a penalty shootout. Vermillion will come back out with their starting 11. Selly, Brady, Dominguez, along with Nissen, and Luke Knutson, all back in defensive positions. The midfielders include Yoel Moose, Henry Anderson, Varun, and Tayden Wells. Tackers Michael Robe and Ian Job up for the Vermillion Tanagers. Trevor Earldson and Henry Snyder are back in the game as well for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Mention them because they both picked up yellow cards in that first half. Otherwise, running defensively, mentioned Trevor, along with Aaron Lemon, Carter Stamper, and Aiden Mace, all defensively for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Midfield includes Will Green, Jason Albertson, Ethan Billow, who had that goal in the first half, along with Henry Snyder and Tom Solano, who also had the 28th minute goal. And then up in attack will be Garrett Kirschenbusch for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Well, again, a Vermillion goal in the 11th minute. They led it 1-0 after 2 goals from St. Thomas More, including one in the final minute. Vermillion was able to tie it back up in the final 5 seconds to make it 2-2 as we open up this second half. Again, both girls teams for St. Thomas More and Vermillion both made it into the postseason. Of course, St. Thomas More girls were defeated right here at Raleigh French Field as they lost 5-1 on Tuesday. Vermillion girls eventually falling this morning/afternoon to West Central 4-0. Again, switching sides, Vermillion now attacking the south goal. St. Thomas More Cavaliers attacking the north goal on what is a little bit of a brisk Saturday afternoon. Find ourselves up here in the broadcast booth and sheltered by the beautiful booth that keeps it nice and warm in here. It feels like it's, I guess, normal Saturday. Could even say a summer Saturday for us, but with that wind, depending on where you're sitting at, especially out there on the field, you would feel a little bit colder, but of course running around constantly wouldn't feel as bad. And now a through ball somehow gets through. Tayden Wells is going to be tripped up, but they say he goes down according to his own accord as the official quickly signaled to get back up. The head official had the greatest look on it. He was the one that made the call to tell Wells to get back up. Now, Wells didn't make a whole lot of appeals for a foul or that he disagreed with the call. So, right job there by the official. Here come the Cavaliers trying to find some space. Popped up in the air and will go out of bounds. Be in for throw-in for St. Thomas More along the near sideline as it will go out. Get on a yellow card. Henry Snyder controlling this near sideline, number 10 right there for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Speaking of number 10, it's Anderson who has it for the Vermillion Tanagers. He gets it up to Wells. Wells trying to find a little bit of space. He's going to be double teamed, still controlling it. He's going to go back to Dominguez, who lets it run underneath his foot, and now just played up there. And it will be a foul indicated that will go against the Vermillion Tanagers. So Luke Knutson was in there defensively for the clearance. Picks up the foul. Now the 6th foul called against the Vermillion Tanagers. Have yet to pick up, though, a yellow card on them yet. Again, 2-2 here in the second half. Free kick lined up. This one played into the 18-yard box. It is against the wind as well, so wind maybe had a little bit of a help to that. And now Varun plays a heavy ball over the top. A nice job by Winston Prill to come out and pick it up for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Varun had to get a lot of help on that clearance by the wind. Ian tried to run up on it, but just ran out of real estate. Henry Anderson, the through ball once again. Varun just standing there. No offsides indicated. Going to be trying to pull back by a couple defenders. Varun puts in his shot deflected, and it will go out for a corner kick. Back that time was Aiden Mace, just in time. The senior defender able to get back, and with the sliding tackle, able to get his body in front of the shot attempt. Again, a corner kick upcoming for the Vermillion Tanagers. Varun puts his hand up in the air. Will swing it in to the near post. And this one grabbed by Prill. Quickly thrown upfield. Good idea, but that whole entire idea has to start with going to somebody. and it went to absolutely nobody. It's a story about something with everybody in there. Varun, through ball once again. Coming onto it, shot in, and this one finds the back of the net from just inside the 18-yard box across the goal. It's Ian with his second. You would feel confident that Winston Prill facing Ian would have a great space on that one to get the save. But Ian, plenty of force on it, able to slot it home. And Vermillion now leads it 3-2 here in this second half, as that goal comes in the 47th minute. And Ian has his second goal of the day. Vermillion takes back their lead 3-2. And for the Vermillion Tanagers, it's the wind starting to pick up a little bit more and help with this breeze. Again, trying to punch their ticket to a state title game, take on Sioux Falls Christian. Now, in our pregame conversation, an interesting note brought up by Kurt Nelson, talking about this group of players, saying this has been a Vermillion team that has never beat the T-Area Titans, has never beaten St. Thomas More, and has never beat Sioux Falls Christian. And now we're going to see another yellow card. I'm not quite for sure what the call was for. It might have been a little bit of jawing. And the yellow card will come against Will Green. So now the third yellow card handed out by the official have gone all against St. Thomas More. And again, I apologize. Not quite for sure what the call is on. Do have to stop the clock for a moment, as now we're going to have a quick conversation along the near side. Oh, Coach Sales took off his jacket, so they were looking for him. He's wearing now just a long gray shirt. He was wearing a blue jacket earlier that made him visible. He gets the explanation. They're going to ask for time back up on the clock as well. 34 minutes exactly, Coach Sellers, what they want. It will be a free kick, should be, for the Vermillion Tanagers. We readjust the clock. A little bit of miscommunication here, as it will be the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. And as I understand it here, the yellow card is not going to actually be for an official foul. That's why the Cavaliers are still going to have the ball. I'm guessing the foul comes more against Will Green, and the explanation of going against an official and probably saying some type of choice words, are constantly arguing back and forth. Just because it's a yellow card doesn't officially give it back to the Tanagers in some type of free kick situation. Ultimately, St. Thomas More does have to play it back, though, to Vermillion. And now a shot attempt from Wells way out goes across the goal and out for a goal kick. Now, again, on that, St. Thomas More, ultimately what they're supposed to do is just take a free kick that gives it back to Vermillion, but kick it deep. 3-2, 3 yellow cards against the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. And this one, a foul, going to go against Henry Anderson. Again, a little bit of an interesting call, as advantage would have still been played there by the St. Thomas More Cavaliers, but since Anderson went to ground, made contact there, and never touched the ball, they will indicate a foul. Now the 8th one against the Vermillion Tanagers. It will be another kick upcoming for Garrett, the main forward for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Kicks that one deep inside the 18-yard box, but quickly cleared out. Wells will just pop it up to Ian. Ian is going to get it up to Varun. Varun gets by his defender. A one-time touch, but his space is cut off. Gets it back. It's now out to Anderson. Anderson back into Varun. He's just going to play it off to Wells. Wells gets clipped from behind. Ian's trying to run up on it, and finally the foul is called. You knew St. Thomas More eventually was going to have a foul called against them. It was kind of back and forth collision. The officials let that one play out because of how quickly guys were going into each other, both contact coming from both ways. But finally, a foul called just on, I should say, outside of the 18-yard box, played in. Ian doesn't get the full force with his head on it, and this one going to be picked up by Winston and played out. As mentioned, it certainly has been chippy here at Raleigh French Field. Now an indication of a quick couple substitutions, as Anderson will come out. Also coming out of the game was Carter Stamper for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. 3-2, not quite 10 minutes into this second half. Shot takes deflection. Played up now to Ian. But St. Thomas More collects possession once again. Can't do anything with it. Played now close to the grandstands. Take the deflection off a net and back out of play. St. Thomas More, they have it. Cross comes in. This one's low. Sully goes to the ground and collects it for the Tanagers. 3-2. So we're into the 50th minute. Vermillion 1-0 before the Cavaliers answered back, scoring two of their own, making it 2-1, including one with 51 seconds remaining of the first half. And now coming out, ball is loose, goalkeeper free, and we're going to get a foul call that will go against Joel Dahlhoff. Ball came free there, as Winston, the goalkeeper, missed out on it when he came out to play it. And then they say Joel made contact from behind, even though he was the last one to kick it out for a goal kick, but they'll give the foul instead. Ultimately, St. Thomas has it. Along the sideline, they throw it up. Far side. Tangle of legs, taking the free kick quickly are the Cavaliers. Quickly cross it in, but this one out of play. Well, main possession went to St. Thomas More in that first half. It's been a little bit more back and forth. Probably you'd say give the advantage to the boys right now in red. But St. Thomas More are starting to get their grasp on this one a little bit more, but have had the battle against this wind that has picked up a little bit more here at Raleigh French Field. 3-2. Past 10 minutes into this second half. Throw in along the far sideline. Varun has it top of the 18-yard box. Will let one fly. Good opportunity for Varun. Good thinking as well. Like what he wanted to get it. Take it on the one-time bounce. Let it come to the strong foot and just see. Maybe make something happen there. But not able to quite score. And it's still 3-2. Vermillion on top of the St. Thomas More Cavaliers here in the second half. Here comes the Cavaliers once again over the top, trying to get free here, able to get on top of the ball. Shot comes in, saved by Sully, popped up in the air. And it will go out for a corner kick. A great opportunity there for Trevor Erlandson, but not able to finish it off, but an even better save by Sully. And now the corner kick, quickly taken by the Cavaliers and knocked away by Luke Knutson, again, who really has the size on a lot of players out there. Eventually cleared out for the Vermillion Tanagers. Throw in far side for St. Thomas More. Cavaliers trying to get something through the middle. Shot deflection, stays out. Dahlhoff trying to get on top of it. Back and forth, and they say a battle of hands, but no foul called on Dahlhoff. Played over the top as Ian comes out. Also coming out is Prill, and he clears it out. They say there was pushing back and forth for Dahlhoff there. Long looked like it was in there Jason Albertson making some contact. But again, advantage play towards the Vermillion Tanagers, or should I just say play on. 3-2. Vermillion will have it with a corner kick upcoming, as Varun will have it at the near corner. Crosses in. This one is low. Bounces around. Shot redirected. Dominguez, though, can't direct it back on net, and it will go out for a goal kick. 3-2. Vermillion on top of the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Now ball played over the top. Luke Knutson trying to get back, and this one is a tangle of legs. Yellow card upcoming, and it will be Tom Solano who will be getting the free kick, and it is a red card. A red card against Luke Knutson. It was the breakaway play, and Luke Knutson will draw the red card, and he is out of the game. And it will be a free kick just outside the top of the 18-yard box. Got to stop the clock here. 3-2. Shot coming from just outside the 18-yard box. And now Vermillion will be without their main defender here of Luke Knutson, as he will be out of the game. Depends on it. It depends on a card, Coach Zeller, and why the clock stops and why it doesn't. It did take a time, but also it comes to the top of the 18-yard box. By the time they set this all up, it's going to waste over a minute of time. They have to set up the wall correctly. And again, it comes down to the high school level. If you're big into professional soccer, they just add stoppage time onto the end of the game. But in high school level, depending on how quickly it moves along, they'll eventually stop the clock. The indications haven't always been clear either. I will say that from the main official. And now the free kick from the top of the 18-yard box is low. On the ground, not quite for sure what was being set up. Almost looked like it came off. Wrong side of the foot for Trevor Erldson. Well, after the red card from Luke Knutson, and out for the game, Luke, Vermillion catches a lucky break, but holding on to a one-goal lead. They'll need to make something happen here. A couple substitutions incoming, as Dominguez and Wells will come out. And again, substitutions are made. Over the top, trying to get to Ian, pushed down from behind, cleared out. It will be a corner kick. Vermillion wants a penalty inside the box. They're not going to get it. And a free kick, or excuse me, a corner kick upcoming. By the way, again, want to make a quick indication if you're not aware of soccer, by the way, with that red card, Vermillion is also down to 10 players in this game. I'm sorry, Coach Zeller, probably should explain that to you in a moment. With the red card, not only is Luke Knutson out of the game, he'll no longer be able to play, but Vermillion cannot make someone play that position, or I should say another player come back in. Now, continuing to expand on that rule here in just a moment, as Trevor plays it back to the center. The only type of really difference you can make when it comes to a red card is if the goalkeeper were to get a red card, you can use somebody else, usually on the field, that will then go to play that goalkeeper position. You don't just spend the rest of the game without a goalkeeper. You're allowed to make position changes and do whatever you need to do in that moment. Which, have to say, Winston has come out in dangerous situations leading with his feet. And that can cause red cards on a goalkeeper. In fact, it's probably one of the most dangerous plays as usually, you're not aware of this, one of the strongest players out there for any team will be your goalkeeper. A little bit more built in size is what they like to go with for a majority of teams. Can draw back to my playing days where we had that kind of incident happen. Our goalkeeper came out with his feet and not only picked up himself a red card, but broke a kid's leg, shattered it in 3 different places by doing it. And that's why they try to say, come out with your hands. We know it's dangerous, leading with your head in there as well. But it's those type of incidents that do happen. Of course, as attackers, you're also trained that if the goalkeeper is coming out, that type of play is going to be made. Just let the ball go. Joel's going to run on top of it, takes the shot. It gets through the hands of Winston and played out by St. Thomas More, coming out of bounds along this near side. Vermillion a man down, bringing the press once again. They would love a second goal. And this one played up and out. And by the way, as you see it here on the camera angle, or not quite, I guess you don't see it as much as I see it, but Vermillion, with that red card to Luke Knutson, now only has 3 along their back line. So there hasn't been a formation change from Kurt Nelson since Luke went down. I should say went out. So now only playing with 3 defenders instead of the traditional 4 that Vermillion has. So formation basically is going to stay the same. They will throw guys back every once in a while in support, as they're starting to come back kind of with this 5 guys defensive mid now, starting to play a little bit more of a triangle formation. 2 different triangles starting to form along the far side and near side. Made famous by Spain about 12 years ago when they won a World Cup, the triangle formation. Played up to Moose. His space cut off, ball popped up high in the air, headed by Varun out of bounds. Approaching the halfway mark of this second half, it's 3-2, 3 yellow cards against the St. Thomas More Cavaliers, a red card, and this one played right into the middle where Luke Knutson is usually at, and it's a goal. It's a goal for Trevor Erlandson, and we're tied at 3-3 once again. A goal for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. And it now makes it 3-3 here in this second half, as more Vermillion fans begin to pile in here, as the girls soccer team has just gotten back home from their trip to Hartford, South Dakota. As they sit together, again, the girls fell earlier, 4-0 against West Central. But we find ourselves another goal, 6 so far here in this game, and we're tied once again, 3-3. So we wondered if the red card would play a factor. It certainly has now. So again, Luke Knutson picked up the red card. Vermillion playing with 10 men. A cross that played well above the head of anybody. Played up now to Wells. Wells trying to lead there with his head. Dangerous play there. Mays falls down as he tries to clear it up. Gives a thumbs up to his bench and has a big old smile on his face. Shot comes in right to Sully. Go back to that missed kick by Mays. Those are always fun to have as a player. You have to always smile and laugh at yourself because you know how silly you just look trying to kick that. If you don't have a little fun with yourself, then you're just not having fun out there. Moose has it. Played back. Can attest, I've had plenty of my opportunities as well. That level of you make some silly kicks, you just wonder what just happened. Ball trying to be played through the middle, but way too heavy of a touch. Sully comes sliding out and collects it with his hands. Past the halfway mark into the 61st minute. Getting tied up between the Vermillion Tanagers and the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. If we are tied, we will go to extra time. Ball played up and going to go out of bounds. Throw in, Tanagers. Use the near sideline. Popped up high in the air. It will go out. It will be controlled with Vermillion. And as they now look for another goal to take back their lead. 3-3 here in this second half. It's to Varun. Play to the middle. Cleared out once again. Vermillion will keep the press. Trying to get to Wells. Played up. Vermillion, though, still in possession. St. Thomas More able to cut it out. They play it up. Vermillion easily collects, plays it back up over the top, and Winston, will come out and collect for St. Thomas More. Gets a heavy boot into this one. Will go well above everyone's head and will go from end to end, eventually out for a goal kick. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Can't say I follow a whole lot of St. Thomas More football, but if Winston's not the punter, certainly should be. That was a good boot against the wind as well. Well, back and forth we go. A date with Sioux Falls Christian. And a championship game next Saturday evening at T High School is on the line. And now Wells gets a through ball. Winston's going to come out, sliding with his feet. He missed. A shot by Wells, but Mace there beautifully there for the Cavaliers to deflect the shot away. Vermillion, though, trying to come once again in the middle with Moose. Dahlhoff and Moose get on top of each other. Deflection out of bounds on Dahlhoff, and it will be a throw-in upcoming. Oh. I'll see if I can't find you a score update as well about USD SDSU. I apologize. Is that what you were looking for earlier, Coach Zeller? I'm sorry. I got a little distracted by the game here. Let me start typing in a little bit of information. I'll find out very, very quickly for you. With 9:43 in the first quarter, USD leads it 3-0 over SDSU. I know what, Coach Zeller, if you ask me nicely enough, I'll start to make a few more changes here, and I can pull up the game on my phone. How's that sound for you? Yeah, why don't you have it pulled up? 3-3 here. St. Thomas More trying to find some more space. Cut off there by Brady as he clears it out. Now, using my phone and laptop are two different things while trying to call a game. Again, we have been told that the brain can't multitask, which I'm proving it up here. That we can. And now a goal for the St. Thomas More Cavaliers as just about 25 yards out, shot taken, and able to slot it in the back of the net. And the Cavaliers now lead it 4-3 over Vermillion. A great shot there for St. Thomas More and Jason Albertson, the midfielder who was able to score. Albertson did. Jason Albertson is able to get the goal. And now, in the 65th minute, it's 4-3. St. Thomas More back with the lead. Vermillion with the man down are looking for the equalizer here. 7 goals so far today. And now a ball that goes in between the feet. Cavaliers get back on top of it with Trevor Erlandson. Takes the shot. It falls through Sully's hands. Able to get back on top of it. And collect it. Oop. Had that through the speakers of my headphones here. Gotta be careful. Better turn down my phone speaker. I guess we can pull that up. You're gonna hear, I believe, Jay Ellison and the crew. Someone from Midco will have the call. Not quite for sure the whole entire crew that's on it today. Shot once again goes off the fingertips of Sully and out for a corner. Or no, I'm sorry. It will be actually an offsides. That was called before the shot. So it will be Vermillion's free kick. Just outside their own 18-yard box. 4-3, St. Thomas More leads it here over the Vermillion Tanagers. We're 15 minutes and under remaining in this game. Again, if Vermillion's able to find a goal and we're tied. We will play extra time. Over the top, this one goes out of bounds. It's like Michael Drotzman got a good punt there. I forgot to text him today. I know Drotzman pretty well. Usually I make fun of him because he went to the wrong school. Got my opportunity. Guy that has called baseball games with me during my time with amateur baseball, Michael Drotzman. Got rid of Lesterville. Plays for the amateur team, the Lesterville Bronx. They had a good amateur season this past summer. 4-3. Vermillion trying to get back on top of possession. Able to do so. Not a whole lot of guys forward. Dahlhoff has it for a moment. Trying to use the near sideline, but just runs it out himself. And St. Thomas More now saying, take your time. We don't need to be in as big of a hurry there. As it was Winston Edwards, the junior defender, who was just ready to take that as a quick throw in. Everyone's like, no, no, no. Take your time here. Waste as much time as you possibly can. Ball played over the top. Wells almost able to get to it. Dahlhoff, tangle of legs. Wells still has it for the Vermillion Tanagers. Running out his real estate. Tries to play it back in. Takes the deflection out for a throw-in. Well, Vermillion needs to start bringing the pressure here, trailing by a goal. We were tied at 2-2 apiece. Vermillion was able to score quickly in this second half, but after Luke Knutson going out with a red card, it's been 2 quick goals for St. Thomas More, and that's how they lead it 4-3. St. Thomas More having it right now in the center. Not really for sure what was going on there, but eventually Vermillion's able to come up with it. Ian Job trying to get his space back towards the center. A tangle of legs as he falls over. Good no call there by the official. Here comes St. Thomas More the opposite way, trying to get it over the top. Ball played back to the center. Just bouncing around. St. Thomas More finally able to get on top of it. The through ball will go quickly to Sully. He'll pick it up. First down and 10 from what, the 3-yard line for the USD Coyotes as they're trying to get out of their own end zone right now. Again, USD leads it 3-0 over SDSU at Dana J. Dykehouse Stadium. Might be a USD fan, but I will say SDSU's stadium is a very beautiful facility. 4-3. 11:50 remaining in this ball game unless we see an equalizer from the Vermillion Tanagers. And it's going to be an illegal throw-in. And it will give it back to the Vermillion Tanagers. It really doesn't matter anymore. And again, that is throw it over your head. Both feet have to be on the ground. Say more and more professionally. It's kind of like basketball, right? They take 4 or 5 steps. It's not going to be traveling called. High school have to keep both those feet down. If they're not, it's an illegal throw-in, and it will go back to the other team. Cavaliers using the near sideline. Trying to find some space. Control with Snyder. Loses it to Anderson. Anderson has his space cut off. Giving it right back to the Cavaliers. Now to Faroon. He plays it over the top to Wells. Wells heads it on to Ian. Ian not able to get there in time. Winston's going to come a far ways. It goes outside of his box. They play it right to Wells. But Wells not able to get there, I should say. Dominguez plays it back through. Ian, though, was offsides. He knew he was offsides. So that's why he didn't go after it. Winston, the goalkeeper, easily comes out to collect there. Cleared out. Vermillion trying to get back on possession. So played across the halfway line. Wells, though, will let it go out of bounds. Throw in St. Thomas More. 10 minutes remaining in this game. Vermillion needs to find a goal if they want to keep their chances of making it to the state tournament alive. Ball played over the top. Sully will come out and collect for the Vermillion Tanagers. Under 10 minutes remaining. Ball played over the top. Ian's trying to catch up with it. And Mace, last second, with the bicycle kick, able to get it out. And then a foul is called as Varun jumped on the shoulders there of a Cavalier. Foul called. Jason Albertson, the midfielder there in the middle, didn't make a whole lot of complaints for himself. Knew the official was right there and he was going to be on top of it. Now a ball played through the middle. For the Cavaliers, all they need to do is just continue to work the clock. Of course, they would love one more goal. Put this one away here at Veteran Sports Complex and leave no doubt. It's Ian. Takes a deflection out of bounds. Throw in for Vermillion. And we'll see a substitution here quickly, as it will be Wells who will come out. And the German foreign exchange student, Yul Moose, is back in. Throw in for Dominguez. Trying to use that far sideline. Popped up in the air, out of bounds. Maroon, the deep throw in, right to the Cavaliers. Mace tries to clear it out, misses it with his kick, but then pokes it out as he gets back in possession. St. Thomas More on the through ball. Sully comes out nicely. Again, nice job as well by Trevor Earlton just to jump over Sully. Kind of talked about that earlier. Once you know the goalkeeper is going to get it, you come after it as an attacker just in case he lets it get through his hands. Then it's an easy goal, which does happen a lot more often than you think at the high school level. But if Sully's able to get it, then you just jump over the top of him, and it's all good. 4-3, St. Thomas More leading it by 1 here in the closing minutes as they're starting to roll it around now, wasting some time. The head official telling them to speed things up just a little bit. St. Thomas More plays it into the middle. Earlton wants his teammates to keep running. Nothing really doing anything in the middle there. Vermillion back on top of it. Now to Henry Anderson. Anderson free on space. Had to get back on top of the ball, though. It's now Yul Moose who gets by one defender. Back out to Anderson. Back to Yul Moose. Moose trying to get by his defender and clear it out. Anderson frustrated with himself as he went to move the ball along. He skirted over the top of it and let St. Thomas More defensively get back in time. Just a simple mistake by Anderson, but at this moment, a costly one. Dominguez to Varun, who I believe took a shot below the belt. He did. He goes down now. Moose, the cross in, trying to find Ian. And this one, oh my goodness. Whoa! Friendly fire. This will be a corner kick. Wow. Garrett Kirschenbusch back there and just sent that back into his own goal. And again, Varun is down. Stop the clock here, as he will have to come out. Again, just took a shot from his own teammate on the pass by the ball to below the belt. I don't know what Amy Richardson's coming on. There's going to be a simple explanation of this. Just I gotta take a breather here. Gotta take a moment. That and taking it directly to the bridge of the nose are the two worst possible spots the ball can find itself at. I believe Varun was saying he'll stay in, but I believe he has to come out no matter what. Getting an injury, you call it. He is fine. And it will be a corner kick. Henry Anderson will take it. Usually Varun is the man who takes the corner kicks for the Vermillion Tanagers. So Anderson over at the far corner. This one is low. Played closely to Moose, but not able to redirect it back on net. Still 3-0. USD leads it over SDSU. 2:52 remaining in the first quarter. Winston Prill on the goal kick. Gets it deep. Takes the jump off the head of a Tanager. Vermillion back on top of it. Now under 6 minutes remaining. Varun will come back in. As Schroen will come out. So Vermillion has it along the far sideline. Yoel Moose, who recently checked in, trying to make something happen. Still has it. Top of the 18-yard box will let a shot fly. This one goes well across the face of the goal. Of course, up here in the broadcast booth, that looks promising, but Winston wasn't troubled whatsoever. 4-3, 5:20. Ball played over the top and able to bring it down. One-on-one with the goalkeeper. Shot. It's a goal. It's the nail in the coffin. Tom Solano gets his second of the afternoon. And in the 75th minute, it's 5-3. St. Thomas More leads it over the Vermillion Tanagers. So Vermillion will need a quick 2 to just tie with 5:10 remaining, and at this moment have nothing to lose. Bring everything they have. Dominguez plays it up to Yoel Moose. Moose trying to find some space, but it's cut off quickly. Back up through the middle. And this one is going to be played out. Dominguez with the throw-in. Under 5 minutes remaining in this game. St. Thomas More, they needed a second to really feel comfortable. That's what they got. And now a free kick upcoming. Vermillion needs to move quickly with this free kick. Get a Luke Knutson red card. Vermillion's been down to 10 men for about 18 minutes now, and it has ultimately hurt with all the goals for St. Thomas More coming after the Luke Knutson red card. Anderson, the quick throw-in inside the box. Trying to find some space is Joe. Just played across. Goes beyond the reach of Yoel Moose and out of bounds. St. Thomas More will have a throw-in. If they did this correctly. No. We're going to get a yellow card, I believe. Wow. So we are going to get, and it will now be a penalty kick for Varun to draw it within 1 with 3:43 remaining in this game. Varun needs this one. Takes the shot, and this one's saved. The putback not there. Varun, another opportunity, doesn't get it. It goes out. This one will be out for a corner kick as St. Thomas More and Winston Prill saves not 1 but 2 shots against Varun. And it remains a 2-goal lead, 5-3. Corner kick for Vermillion. Anderson crosses this one in. Takes the deflection off a couple heads. St. Thomas More tries to clear it out. It will go out of bounds. St. Thomas More will have it along the far sideline. They want to play it all the way across, able to do so. Snyder doesn't need to move quickly down the field. In fact, if he wanted to, he could just play it back to his teammates. That's exactly what they do. Back and forth, and it's going to be cleared out. The St. Thomas More fans, it goes here. Inside the bleachers. Throw in once again. This one along the sideline, poked out of bounds by Vermillion. 2:45 remaining in this game. The throw. This one will go all the way out of bounds. Missing a ball here. Vermillion needs to get this one back in play. 2:30 remaining in the game for a chance to go play Sioux Falls Christian for a championship game. Sioux Falls Christian earlier this morning beat T Area 1-0. Substitution completed as Dominguez will come out. Vermillion with that substitution wasted about 20 seconds of their own and then give it right back to St. Thomas More. And This one, they say, was saved from going out. St. Thomas More needs to start wasting this ball and not necessarily taking far-out shots and just trying to make something happen. It's giving it quickly back to the Vermillion Tanagers, but they do say it is St. Thomas More's ball. And now substitutions will come out. Now we'll say this much, yeah, Coach Zeller, get ready for it to constantly stop the clock here. As again, in professional soccer, you would see this as part of a tactic to waste the clock. In high school soccer, that does not exist. You're going to stop the clock for these substitutions to happen. 103 seconds remain in the game. 103 seconds remain for St. Thomas More to go play for a state title next Saturday. Throw in once again. Cavaliers will have it along the near side again. All they need to do is waste down some time. A far shot comes in. Sully takes deflection. It's poked back in. Sully knocked it down. And there to put it right back into the back of the net, St. Thomas More. They won it. Right now, though, they lead it 6-3. I believe that is a goal for Ethan Blue, who scored that. I believe. I can't quite read his number. I believe, though, that was number 6 who got the goal. And another substitution. It doesn't really matter at this point. Just St. Thomas More getting their opportunity to get a few guys playing time to finish this one on out. 6-3. Yes, it was Ethan who scored the goal. I had to wait till he turned his back to me so he could see that 6 just a little bit better. So for St. Thomas More, all they have to do is watch the final 60 seconds tick away. They will be playing for a state title coming up next Saturday. Vermillion coming in as the 2 seed is not going to be able to get it done. Ball played over the top. Sully will make the quick clearance. Again, Vermillion, St. Thomas More tied at 2 apiece. Vermillion took a quick lead in this second half. A red card by Luke Knutson. And from there, St. Thomas More was able to get 4 goals. And they're going to win this one 6-3 with the final 20 seconds ticking away. Dahlhoff trying to make something happen in the middle. Winston will come run up on top of it. Clapping the ball. 10 seconds and rolling. He will now make the pop-up high in the air. Over to the near side. It stays in play. And the final seconds tick away. St. Thomas More is on to play for a state title. The Vermillion boys will see their season come to an end as they fall 6-3 over the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Congratulations to the Vermillion boys on an amazing season, but come up 1 game short of playing for a state title. For the Vermillion boys, only graduating 3 seniors. It will certainly be high expectations going into next year to see if they can't play for a championship. I'm Heath Nimke. A big thank you for everyone tuning in to Live Ticket TV. This will conclude our coverage of today's boys soccer game, but you can catch us back here on Live Ticket TV. Coming up this next week, we'll have volleyball for you on Thursday, and we'll have football for you on Friday. Until then, have yourself a wonderful rest of your afternoon.